Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to search, plan, and register for classes for fall 2020. Now, fall is a little bit different from previous semesters because most of our classes are online, and I want to make sure that you understand how that's going to work for fall 2020. So this video is going to be somewhat lengthy, but I'm going to be I'm going to try to make it easy to follow, and I'm going to try to give you all the information that I know, and I hope it helps you. Okay. So there's two different ways you can register for classes, and I'm going to personally show you my top favorite way, and then I'm going to show you another way that you can. Okay. And I think it'll be smart to watch both. So I'm going to show you the first way. So from our homepage, click on Insight and then click on Insight Login here. Click on Student. Type in your username and your password, and then click Login. And you should get to your Insight portal. So the one part that's crucial is right here where it says my registration date. Make sure you click on it and make sure that you do have a fall registration date. If it's blank, then you may have to submit an application for fall 2020 term so that it can generate a registration date and time. If you have done that already, I highly recommend contacting admission and records. But let's assume you do have a date and time. So for me, it says June 3rd at 4:30 p.m. So in an ideal world, I'm registering exactly at 4:30. You technically have between your registration date and time, you have from that point up until class starts. So that's in August. But if you wait too long, a lot of classes are going to fill up. But so I do recommend trying to register, always try to register during your registration date and time. So that now that we know that, let's click on Home. And from your Insight portal, find the tile that says registration and click on that. And then click on Register from your Ed plan. Once you get here, make sure that you click forward, or maybe it already appears, but you want to be under fall 2020. And at this point, it says I have no courses selected for this term. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through that. What I want you to do is open up a new tab, okay? And go to the DVC homepage. And when you get here, click on Insight and click on Course Schedule Search, okay? Now for DVC, you'll see there's Pleasant Hill campus and San Ramon. If this was a typical normal fall semester, then you would want to for sure choose which campus you're going to be going to, right? Because you don't want to take classes at Pleasant Hill if you know you need to go to San Ramon because maybe it's closer to home. But most of our classes are online, so I would say it's probably a smart idea to check both, so that way you have more options. But I'm going to use Pleasant Hill as an example. So I'm going to click Pleasant Hill, term 2020 fall. I'm going to leave everything the way it is. So course type, all courses, day, evening, weekend, full term, short term. Full term is going to be 16 weeks. Short term, there's some classes sometimes we offer that's in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and so on. So I'm going to leave both. Now, you could, if you know the specific class that you want to register for, then I highly recommend using this course drop-down menu. So let's say you click on it and you're looking for Business 109, which is Introduction to Business, or you're looking for Career 110, Career and Life Planning. Maybe you know the specific class that you want to take for your major or for general education or for your own interests. Then yeah, I would use this course drop down menu. And for the sake of this example, I'm going to use, let's say, I want to take Chem 108 because I need it for my major. Maybe I'm a nursing major Maybe I'm a bio major and I need to take some chem classes. I'm going to use chem as an example for this video. Click on Chem 108. Now, you could leave this show open courses only unchecked, and it's going to show you courses that are full. So like, or, like this course here, it says status waitlist. Waitlist is full. Waitlist is full. Or it shows me classes that are open. So one thing you could do is, I'm going to go back. You could click on show open courses only and then search. And now it only shows me which ones has seats available. We're at a point in the video where I want to emphasize what I'm about to say next is going to be crucial, okay? In counseling, we're getting a lot of emails about, my classes. I don't know what time we meet online. I don't even know if we meet online. It's telling me that I can't register for this class, but I'm cleared for it. So I'm going to go over why that might be coming up for you. So let's use this one as an example. So this class, always read the comments. That's everything you need to know is going to be right there. So what jumps out to me is it says it's an online course, so that I quickly know I don't have to go in person for this class. And something that catches my eye is this, which is it meets online weekly on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11:10 to 12:35 for live lecture and exams. And that's why you see that right here. So what that tells me is, even though this class is online, you still have to meet as a class online on those days, right? At that time. So if you know there's a conflict with work or other obligations, then don't sign up for that class and choose a different class. Because the comments is telling you what time it meets as a class online. Okay. And notice, like, if I look at this section, let's say there's a conflict with work, then I could look down at this section, and this one tells me that it meets only on Mondays from 2:30 to 4:30 for live lecture and problem solving sessions. So maybe that works for you, but you could go through the list and see which one works for you. And then I want to point out this class right here. So this class has a note, and it says most instruction will be delivered by asynchronous video lessons. So that means that there's going to be video lessons that you don't have to go on at a specific time to watch. You could go on at any day or time, as long as you're doing it by whatever deadline the instructor has. But I do notice it says exams, quizzes, and some live Zoom sessions will be scheduled on Wednesdays from 12:45 to 3:55. The exact date to be determined by the first day of the course. So regardless, even though the dates haven't been set in stone, I know I have to have my Wednesdays free from that time. Now, this section specifically has a note that says, this section is part of a first-year experience program for new college students interested in allied health major. Students must also register for 3 additional classes, which are linked to Chem 108, and those are Math 142, English 122, and Counseling 100. That's basically saying if you wanted to register for this section, not only do you have to register for this section, but you also have to register for these 3 additional classes. It's part of a first-year experience program. Many times, students will contact counseling or admission and records and say, I'm trying to register for a class, but it won't let me. And the reason is, it's either you don't meet the prerequisite, that could be one reason, or the second reason is it's part of a program that you have not applied for. So let's say this is a program you do want to join, then you'll see right here it says, before registering, learn more and submit an FYE application at, and it has a link. So I just wanted to point that out because that's a common question that comes up from students. Now let me show you, so this is for chemistry. Now let me show you, if I plan this course, I know I'm not cleared for this class. So I want to show you how I know that, okay? So let's say I'm going through this list and this last section is appealing for me because maybe I work during the day and it says this class meets at night from 7:25 to 10:25 at night. So maybe that works for me. There's 25 seats, so I know I'm good. There's seats available. So I'm going to copy this 4-digit number, 8508. I'm going to go back to my plan and register tab. I'm going to put in the 4-digit number and hit enter. Notice that Chem 108 appears right here. I'm going to click on view available sections. And the 8508 that I planned that's the only one that shows up because that's the only one I want. And then I'm going to click on add section to schedule. Add section. And then I'm going to click on back to plan and schedule. I'm going to click over to fall 2020. And now I've planned the specific section that I want. Now, if you plan a course and this yellow box appears right here at this point of the registration process, this is giving you a heads up that you're not cleared for the class, that you do not meet the prerequisite. In my case, I know I don't meet the prereq because I have not taken the assessment placement yet. So I know that. So this is giving me a heads up that if I try to register for the class, it won't let me in, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to click register now. Notice a message pop up that the following required prerequisite for the course is not started. What it's basically saying is you have not met the prerequisite, okay? If you look at my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube video dedicated to clearing a prerequisite. But for this class specifically, it's most likely that you just haven't done the assessment placement process. But I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to delete this as an option. And I'm going to do a different example, okay? So let's say I go back. I have Pleasant Hill campus. I'm going to leave it as all. And maybe I'm not looking for a specific class, but maybe I'm looking for a specific class within a department. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're wanting to take a history class for general education, or maybe for interests. You could click on subject, and then you could click on history, and then click on, I'm gonna leave the show open courses only checked. And then I'm going to click on search. And so instead of just showing me a specific class, like let's say if I was only looking for History 120, by searching by department, it shows me everything under history. For example, that has seats available. So it shows me History 120. There's a lot of sections. I see History 121. That's a different topic within history. I see History 122, and then there's a next, so I could see there's more classes. I see History of California. I see the American West. I see African American perspective of history of the U.S. to 1865. After 1865. So I think you get the point, is you see all the different options within history. And then, under comments, I want to show you something that's different from chemistry. So let's say I'm looking through this and I say, oh, wow, like history of women in the U.S. before 1877. That sounds interesting. I would love to take that class. I see 2 sections of it, and one has 7 seats, one has 36 seats. So it's up to you which one you want to choose. But let's say I want this class. Now, under notes, remember I mentioned always read the comments? So for that class, under notes, it says online course, all instruction will be online, and then it doesn't say anything after that. And notice this class, it doesn't say that it meets at a specific time, right? So like chemistry, it said it had a specific time that they were going to meet online. But this history class, I don't see that. What that means is you're never going to meet online for any live lectures. The instructor is going to have modules and they're going to have instructions of how you're going to complete the course, the deadlines, what assignments you have for the semester. So, you know, plan wisely with your time because you're going to be able to do it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, any day of the week, as long as you're completing the course by the deadline. Um, so let's say I want this course, then I'm just going to copy that number, that 4-digit number, go to my plan and register, paste it, hit enter. Now, this is a good example because 2 classes popped up and I see communication 163 and history 170. Just make sure you go to the one that you were looking for. So if I go back, right, I'm looking for history 170. So I'm going to ignore the COM 163 and scroll down. Here goes history 170. Click view available sections. Here goes this specific class, 1524. If I look at this, the course schedule search, 1524, 7 seats. I see 7 seats. I'm going to click add section to schedule. Add section. And then I'm going to click on back to plan and schedule. And then if I click to fall, notice that this class is planned. So I'm not in the class yet. Now I have to click register. So I'm going to do that. I'm in. So now it says registered but not started. So you're in the class. It says it starts August 24th and it says it ends December 13th. So always pay attention to those dates. Now let's say I made a mistake. Maybe this wasn't the class that I wanted, or maybe I found something else that works better for my schedule. If you wanted to drop the course before it started, all you got to do is click drop, and that's it. You'll click drop, and it's gonna give you like a confirmation. You have selected to drop history 170. It's checked, and then I would click update. And now it goes back to plan. So I'm not in the class anymore. I am going to click register so I could show you something. So now, you know, it says registered but not started. So if I go back to my Insight portal, if I click on my schedule, you'll see it pops up right there. And something that I wanted to point out to you was 2 things. One is if you click on deadline dates, it shows you the deadline dates such as the last day to drop with a refund, the last day to drop without a W. A W means a withdrawal from the class. So if I drop this course after September 7th and before November 13th, right, then there's going to be a W on my transcripts. And I highly recommend talking to a counselor about the implication of that. And then you'll see the last day to request pass or no pass is September 25th. And again, I recommend talking to a counselor about if that's a good idea. Some schools, there's a cap of how many you can do. Some majors, you can't, you have to take the course for a letter grade. You can't take it for pass, no pass. I definitely recommend picking our brains so that we can help strategize if it's a good idea for you. The other thing I want to point out is if you click view bookstore online, you could see if the course has any books that's required online. So like, let's say if I click on it now. Right now it says the textbooks for this section cannot be found at this time. So you want to keep checking throughout summer if there is a textbook that you're going to need. And yeah, that would be a good idea to get going with buying your textbooks so that you're ready on the first day of class. So I'm going to drop this course because as a counselor, I'm not planning on taking any courses this semester. I'm just planning on helping you guys. Okay, so what I want to do is, so that's one way of registering for classes. I'm going to show you a different way, okay? The way I just showed you is my top preference. And So let me get out of here. So that way there's not too many tabs on. All right. So I'm just going to kind of start from scratch. So here goes the second way to register for classes. From the home page, you click on Insight. Click on Insight Login here. So I didn't sign out, so it went straight to my Insight portal. And then what you would do is, again, you would click on Registration, register from your ed plan. Click over to the semester that you're planning to register. Now, if you just go straight here, what you can do is you can use this search box, but you would have to know exactly which course you're targeting. So let's say you knew you wanted to take English 122, right? So what you do is you have to type in the department prefix, which is ENGL, and then 122. Don't put a space. Don't put anything in between. Just keep it all together, okay? And then you'll hit enter. And now the class pops up. When you get to this point, make sure on the left-hand side, click Fall 2020 first, and then click Add Course to Plan. You're going to see this little box pops up. It doesn't mean you're not cleared for it. It's just giving you a warning. And then click, or it's giving you a heads up of what the prerequisite is. And then click Fall 2020. And then click Add Course to Plan. Okay? And then let's say I go back to Plan and Schedule. And then if you click Forward to Fall, now if that box appears here, that means yes, I'm definitely not clear to take this class. But for the sake of this example, let's ignore this yellow box. And I'm going to click on, so now if I wanted to see all the different sections for English 122, I'm going to click View Other Sections. And then you'll notice it says page 1 of 14. So there's 14 pages worth of classes. So that's a lot. And you could go through all of them. Now, the reason why this is my second favorite way of registering for classes is because of this. Now, so right here it shows me this section has a wait list, and I should explain to you how that works. So let's say I really wanted this class, right? I would click on it. It says this section has a wait list. It says seats. So there's 30 seats. There's 4 people on the wait list. So if I was to wait list for this class, I would be number 5. So there's 4 students ahead of me. In an ideal world, I would say try to find a different section that has seats. You might see some that says this section is full. Now, let's say you're taking a class for your major and you don't have another option for your major, then what I would recommend is, as it's getting closer to school starting, you might want to email the instructor expressing interest in adding the course. When you send an email to the instructor, be very specific about what specific section you're referring to, your ID number, and keep it short and sweet, okay? Now, let's say I'm looking through this list, and I go to page 2, I go to page 3, and now I find some sections. The reason why this is my second favorite is because it's a little confused. It confuses some students because you see this class right here. Under time, it says to be determined. So some students think that literally the time is being determined, like when you guys are going to meet. But if I click on it, you got to read the additional information. And so for this class, all the to be determined, that just means it's an all online class. Like, you guys do not meet at a specific time. But I did notice under additional information for this class, it did say that this class is part of a first year experience program. And I mentioned that with the chemistry example. So if I was trying to register for this class, this is giving me a heads up that I also have to register for 4 additional classes to be part of this section, right? So let me find you one. So like, let's say this class right here, it says 17 seats available. So and it says time to be determined. If you see that, that means it's all online. And if I click on it, I go to the additional information. I don't see that this class is part of part of a learning community or a program. So that means I'm good. I could register for this section as long as I meet the prerequisites. And then all I would have to do is click add section. And then I would just click register and I would be in the class, assuming that you meet the prerequisite. I did want to show you if there's an English course that does meet online at a specific time, how you can tell. The easiest way that you can tell is when you're looking through the list, see this one right here. That one says time, Monday, Wednesday, 11:10 to 12:35. Now, if I click on it and I go read the additional information, it says, again, this section is part of the first year experience program. And I noticed down here it says students meet for live activities on Monday and Wednesdays from 11:10 to 12:35. So what I hope you get out of this is that when you're looking for your classes, make sure that you're clicking on the class and that you're looking at the additional information to see what it says and to see if it's something that works for you. So that's for English. So I'm going to do a different example. Let's say I know I wanted to take a sociology class and I know the specific class that I want to take. So maybe it was Introduction to Sociology. And so the first thing, if you remember, I said click on Fall 2020 first. Click on Add Course to Plan, Term, Fall 2020. Add course. Click back to plan and schedule. Click forward to fall. Here goes the class. I'm going to click view other sections. And then I could see all the different options. I could go page 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then let's say there's one that I want. Let's say this class is the one I want. I click on it. I click add section. Notice no yellow box appears, so that means I'm cleared for the class. And then I click register. And I'm in. You see it's green. It says registered but not started. It tells me who's the instructor, the dates, and then yeah, I would be in the class. So this video is almost 30 minutes, so I know it's a long video, but I hope it helps you. I just wanted to point out something. If you go to the course schedule search, right? Let's say I click Pleasant Hill, fall. One thing you could consider is under subject, and I've always encouraged this with my students, is besides all of your academic courses that you're taking, towards your major, your degree, your certificate, whatever goal you have, I would highly encourage you to look under kinesiology activity, combative dance, and let's say I click on activity and I click show open courses only and click search. We offer a lot of classes that I feel like you should consider adding to your schedule every semester, such as beginning swimming, intermediate swimming. There's yoga. I'm just going to kind of go through the list quickly. There's a physical fitness, beginning body sculpture. I'm going to click next. Zumba, beginning cardio kickboxing. There's fitness walking. This is a theory and practice of strength training and fitness. It's like an open gym. You'll see it's an open entry, open exit class. You could read the comments about that. Beginning power training, badminton, golf, tennis, volleyball. So it's just something that I encourage you to consider. These are 1-unit classes, but just something to consider, because I do think it's a good idea sometimes to add something that's a good de-stressor, or maybe you want to get in shape, or maybe you want to meet other students. Maybe you've loved golf your entire life and you just want to get better at it, or whatever. It's just something that I wanted you to see and consider. Um, I hope this video helped. I know it's long, but I truly hope it helps you. And feel free to rewind so that you can see the two different ways that you can register for classes. All right. So thanks for watching, and I really do hope it helps.